Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar on the Coinbase chart because it has fewer lines on it. It's a little bit easier to see what's going on. First and foremost, remember always to increase the playback speed on my videos so they will be more tolerable. And I might sound like a normal human being, even, possibly. So we're looking for a fresh daily candle to start above our neckline here in the aqua color, and have not received that this week, as we've dropped back below that neckline. And what's really interesting, a little birdie, I didn't figure this out myself. A little birdie told me this. On the 1 hour chart, we are on the 1 hour chart here. We do have an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. As you can see, there's, and it's not really clear. Look at this little sloppy little shoulder there, and a head, pointy little head here, and a little tiny shoulder there. But you can see clearly the neckline right there that I've drawn, connecting that point and that point right there. Oh my God, I moved it. Stop it. And that point and this point here. We have a lot of little touches right here along that neckline. And so what that is doing, remember, a inverse head and shoulders or a head and shoulders is a pattern that is formed in price action when we are essentially traveling down one parallel channel, as we did, breaking down through our neckline, our aqua colored neckline of our much larger head and shoulder pattern. And then continuing on into a upward sloping channel. From this downward sloping channel, transitioning into an upward sloping channel this way. Now I've stacked another one on top. I don't really need that there now, but it's just to show that when we travel upwards in channels, we may break out into a channel above it and travel upwards a little bit more. You can stack channels on top of one another, and there you have that. Let me just delete this guy, though. We don't really need him there. And how would I do that? Here we go. I got it. There was something in my chart that was in the way that you can't see, I don't think. If you could see it, then I don't know. What's really, really interesting is that this channel so we came down here in the red channel, going back up in the green channel. This green channel is perfectly parallel to our much larger, well, I'd have to switch to a 4 hour, I guess. It's perfectly parallel, has the same slope as our much larger upward sloping channels here. So that just gives further validation of that, what's going on there. And where do those get us to? They get us up pretty far. Could see, well into the six figures by the end of the year here, if we continue upwards in that fashion there. Let's switch out to a daily. What the hell's going on here? Those are our parabolic bull run patterns, or channels, I should say. You know what? I am on the Coinbase chart. I don't know. Oh, I see what I did. Yeah, those are coming up off of the Interesting. Now, when I switch to a daily, you can see that this has gone askew here. That's because I didn't anchor it on, it's drawn on a 1 hour chart. So when you switch to a daily, it kind of freaks out. What's interesting, what happens if we go on a 24-hour rather than a daily? Is it still askew? Oh, it is. Oh, it's because it's not. There. See, now if we go on a 12-hour, it's a little bit straighter. And then even on an 8-hour, see the 8-hour, it's just to show you what happens if you don't anchor your points on certain things. Anyway, let's get off the Coinbase chart. What the hell are we doing? It's not. Let's get back over here where I know what I'm talking about. Kind of. Oh my lord, what just happened? Let's get off of there. Go on our 1 hour chart. Maybe. What are we doing now? So there's that pattern. Here's the neckline right there. We broke through that neckline, and this has reversed us. You know what? Let's just draw a target for the hell of it. Target from, let's say, about that little pointy guy there up to the neckline here. Well, I guess we draw it straight. Let's just pull that, put it over here. Where does that take us to? Ha! Interesting. 69,000. That's really funny. It takes us up to our last cycle all-time high. Ha! Well, there you have it. So what are we doing here? A lot of times when you see these inverse head and shoulders on the lower time frames, 1 hour, this happened on Solana a while back. I remember I was looking at charting Solana, and we would get an inverse head and shoulders here. It would send us up into a channel this way. Then we'd get a head and shoulders over here, and it would send us back down this way. And really, we just kept getting multiple head and shoulders, normal, inverse or regular, back and forth, that were just oscillating us along a trend line. And here, what is that trend line? Apparently it's this aqua colored line here, which is, we go on a 4 hour, and you should know this already, so I've talked about it ad nauseum. It's the, well, let's just switch to a daily. It's the neckline. Can't even see shit here. It is the neckline of our much larger inverse head and shoulders here on the daily time frame, marked with these blue little doohickeys there. And then our neckline is right there. This is our 49K low is the left shoulder. Our 52 low is the head, and we just formed our most recent shoulder. I've gone over this time and time again. But I want to switch here because prices are a little bit different on Coinbase as opposed to the index, and the neckline is a little bit different. Here on this chart, you can see the daily time frame, we are right back at that neckline right here. So that's what we're doing. We are right back at the aqua neckline, and it appears that we are consolidating here into a, let's switch to a 5 minute, see what that looks like. Yeah, so you can see more clearly on the 5 minute the consolidation around that line, forming a triangular pattern here. So I imagine we will go back and forth along that line for a little bit more, and then bust a move one way or another. I'm thinking we're going to head up. Let's go back to the Coinbase chart. Wait a second. Is that the right one? Yeah. So we are here now, trying to break through that channel. And what I'm looking for is, I'm still looking for a daily candle confirmation above that aqua colored line, to indicate that we would be moving upwards from here. So that's what we're looking for. And if we get that, then I do expect us to head upwards here. Now, where do we head up to? Do we just head up back up to 69K as that target predicted from this inverse head and shoulders? Possibly. And then head back down. I've always thought this has been the what I predicted, that we would head up in this green line here and then come back down, heading into the first week in November, into the FOMC meeting and the election and the jobs data and all that stuff that is happening. Jobs data comes out Friday, November 1st. Election is on Tuesday, November 5th, and FOMC meeting is on 7th of November, Thursday. And where is 69K here? 69K right about there. So do we come all the way then back? I drew this assuming we would come back up to 74K and then dump back down from there. Maybe though, as Eric Crown seems to think that we've already seen the high of October. So in that case, then maybe we would only come back up to 69 here. And maybe just oscillate along this thing right here. I don't know. I just don't know. So we'll see. We're waiting on basically that candle, daily candle, start of a new daily candle above. And to give you a number, I got to switch back to this other chart. To give you a number, well, a daily, new daily would be over here and there. Oh, isn't that nice? 677777. So just remember, 6 with a billion sevens after it. We start the new day at 5 o'clock California time. Above that, and good chance we're going to see a nice pump tomorrow. All right, well, I don't know what else to say. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I do, sure. We're on the 4-hour time frame now. We can look at the our oscillators. And on the 4-hour, we did cross a while back. Well, when was that? It was yesterday. Crossed up above the moving average, and we are heading up here into the bullish area of the oscillator range. And these other guys, the stochastic oscillator is up here. He looks like he could stay up there a little while longer, as well as the stochastic down here. These other guys I don't really pay too much attention to. What about the 1 hour? Whatever, we don't really care what the 1 hour is doing. And the daily. Now the daily did cross below the moving average here on the RSI. And, well, you know what? Let's just make that our whole chart. So we did cross below the moving average on the RSI. And I'm not going to talk about this. I talked about it in the previous video where we did this before in the past on September 29th, August 26th over here. And when we did, we had big drops to the downside. Well, this was an initial 8% drop, and then something similar after that. And then this one was just an 8% drop. This one, we only got a few percent of a drop thus far. And I was postulating whether we would get a further drop down. But we haven't thus far, and I don't think we will, as we are heading back up now. And the reason for that is because these crosses down happened at lower. Well, this one happened at 49. It was just below the halfway point on the RSI into the bearish area. And this one happened higher, but not. Well, actually about the same level as this right here. But overall, the average, the RSI is trending higher. So I think that influenced the amount of the pullback that we saw. And so I think we could be very much done here and ready to cross back up above that. So this is really all comes together. If we do get that daily close above 677777, more than likely we will cross up here, I'd imagine, and then see a big blast on Friday to the upside. Now, we do have a lot of selling pressure at 70K. And before we look at that, let's look at the, see now this guy here too, just turning up here above the 50% level on the chart. This guy's just hanging out up here at the top, which is good, the stochastic. He's hanging out up here, turning upwards above. I'm trying to click on him. Let's open him up and see exactly what he's doing. Yeah, look at that. See, he's crossing back up above the 80% or whatever that is, the number 80, which is good. This guy's turning back upwards above the 50% line. So all that's good. This is on the daily time frame. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's look at these oscillators on a much larger time frame. Weekly. On the weekly, looks like the stochastic RSI has broken above this trend line that I've drawn here. So that's good. That's a bullish signal. Things are looking really bullish. I don't know if Crown's right that we've seen the high here for October. But, okay, so well, this is a weekly. I think we could see higher heading into maybe the first part of next week. Maybe Friday and Monday higher, and then maybe pull back into Friday. Really depends on what we see on the jobs data and see if it scares the market or not. So, well, this video is getting a little bit long. I wanted to look at this, but this is a Bitcoin liquidation heat map on CoinGlass. I put the settings on. I put it on the symbol here rather than trading pairs. I put it on the 12-hour time frame to get the most accurate data of what's going on right now, because this changes constantly. I mean, some people like George, they look at this chart and they look at it on a different, like maybe on here on like the 3 month and whatever. Then you'll see like all this leverage up here, 122 million shorts up there. It's like, that's not real. Okay, it's not really real. Look here, and even this maybe isn't real. It's even when you read the directions here, like down here, you can estimate liquidation levels, blah 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 blah, and what actually happens is a lot less than what it shows on the chart. So just read that. And a lot of times people are opening and closing positions constantly, so this is always changing. What happens is people are using the leverage is what's moving the market, and you'll get a lot of shorts here, a lot of longs here. They're trying to battle each other back and forth, and well, for the past 6 months, the shorts have been winning. They're more powerful. They have a lot more money to throw at this thing and try to knock it down. But that has been changing in the past few weeks. We've seen more and more shorts getting liquidated. The bulls are becoming stronger, and eventually this will flip. It'll flip, and then the shorts will go, whoa, we are going to turn into bulls now. And the parabolic run, then parabolic rally. But you can use this to try to estimate where we will head up to and not, because if we do go one way or the other, like probably get up to 68.5, get rid of all those guys. But sometimes too, either side isn't strong enough to get all the way through and liquidate those people. That's the goal. They're trying to liquidate each other. So this video is long enough, and remember, looking for a daily close above 67777 and a fresh candle to start, and that would be really good. Right. Remember, do not like this, do not subscribe, and don't tell anybody.